I have decided to do this book talk about the mystery novel, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, published by Mark Haddon on 1st of May 2003. So the summary of the book is that at the start we are told a little bit about our main character, and he is autistic with Asperger's syndrome. And he is told by his supervisor of a kind, I assume, that he should write this book to like develop his skills or something. And so he does. He writes a mystery novel about this dog that he found in his neighbor's backyard that is dead. And he is the main character of the book because he only wants to tell what has happened in real life. He doesn't like making up things and lying. Yeah, and that is what it is about at the start, and as the story progresses, we find out that the plot is much deeper, that actually he finds out first that his mother had cheated. He thought she had, or he still thinks that she has died of a heart attack because that's what his father told him. And then he finds out from another person on his street that she had actually cheated, but at this point it doesn't really matter much to him because she's dead. But then he finds out that she's not actually dead and that she lives in another town, another city, with the neighbor's husband that she ran off with. And so he's very upset by this because his father had lied to him, and he doesn't like it when people lie. And then he finds out that his dad had also killed the neighbor's dog, and he is also very upset about that, and he is frightened of his father because he believes that his father will also kill him, like he killed the dog. So he flees to his mother's house, but that flee is quite long for him because he has to go on the train and he has to travel all the way to her without anyone helping him. But at the end, like, they're all reunited. Not like his mom and dad got back together, but he thinks it's better at least. He writes at the end of the book that he is quite happy and that he has done a lot of things and he is proud of himself. So that's good. My thesis statement. Story takes us through the eyes of an autistic main character experiencing something troubling and traumatic. It makes the reader feel with the complicated emotions of someone born with a mental disability. And I think that's very important for some authors to write about this, because it teaches people who read the book, and like this book is aimed at like teens and adults, and it teaches them to feel with the main character, to have empathy with them. Narrator and point of view. We can very much see his point of view in the story as he takes in information much differently than the people without mental disabilities. Like, he can like have a grip on the wrong part of what he's being told and like think that that is the important part and that he should focus on that, but it's not really. He's not perceiving it right. And because of that, he is also an unreliable narrator, because he thinks that what he thinks is true, but it's not actually always. Like, he thought his dad will kill him, like his father killed the dog. And that's why he flees. But obviously, he has got a loving father who cares about him and would never kill him, but he doesn't realize that. It is also a first-person book. Well, like we are kind of the main character in the book. We like are walking in his shoes. We hear his thoughts. We see what he sees. Yeah. The language is also like very good reflection of the main character, because it is emotionally flat in a way. It's not uninteresting. I thought it was a pretty interesting book. But it's emotionally flat and sometimes very analytic, and a few times there is a lot of over explaining, but that is, yeah. And I think that reflects the main character very well, because some things that, at least, I think are true about autistic people from what I have heard and learned, is that sometimes they can seem to be very unempathetic, very emotionally flat, like, don't really show that all too much. Like, people can't really read them because of that. And also, we can see our main character also struggles a little with that. And the analyzing, like, he really tries to see through what people are saying. He tries to analyze it because that's what he has learned that normal people can just do, but he has a bit of trouble with it. So he does that on purpose and not subconsciously. I think the title is very interesting because it's so long. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Quite a long title. I think that also reflects on the autistic part, because sometimes if like an autistic person can tend to over explain things so that other people don't misinterpret it. But it's also some kind of odd words, some of them, or at least together they are. I think that also reflects on him a little. Like, he's a little kind of odd person. And but the title only really explains like the first half of the story, where he thinks, or well, where the main point in the story is figuring out who killed the neighbor's dog. Yeah. Relevance. I think this story is relevant. I mentioned it earlier, but because it shows it shows how autistic people can tend to think, and gives insight in their behavior and why they do as they do and think as they think, and how they can misinterpret things, and how they have to consciously overanalyze, maybe not overanalyze, but definitely analyze a lot, and give the people reading this a better understanding of all the different things that have to be set into action in an autistic person's head to try and function like a normal person. I think that's done very well in this book. Sorry, there isn't much visual design in this book talk. Thank you so much for listening.